So we're real excited now to welcome 3 designers from LCAD, Laguna College of Art and Design, and they're going to be sharing their projects with you that showcase how design can impact the world. Gabriel Tanner is completing his BFA in Action Sports Design and is focused on apparel and product solutions, like these pants he's got on. Sophia Felger is completing her BFA also and will share how human-centered design can impact our environment. Sophia. And Piper Hubble is a recent grad demonstrating how immersive technology can connect data and human experience. Let's hear for Piper. All right, so Gabriel, we will start with you. Your focus is on waste in the fashion industry. How can consumption be reconsidered or impacted by design?
Hi, everyone. So we can impact consumption through the lens of apparel. We're constantly buying new products, new apparel, new fashions, but we don't fully consider the impact that has on our environment. We are using more sustainable materials such as regenerative cotton or unique alternative textiles, but what about the clothes that already exist? What's being done about the hundreds of thousands of clothes that sit in our local thrift shops or simply enough being thrown out? What if we could collect these materials? What if we could redesign and refabricate them into something new, or at least new to you? And this process exists. It's called upcycling, which is taking and transforming products that are unwanted into new materials or better products overall. Upcycling, it reduces the amount of waste in our landfills. It reduces the water consumption used in the manufacturing process of clothes. And let's just be real, not all the clothes in our thrift shops are locally purchased. They're being shipped out, disposed of, or even burned. So, what if we could remanufacture and redesign this apparel and collect it before it ends up in the landfills? Then we can turn it into a 1 or more product collection, or we can use dead stock material and use it until it's completely gone. Or we can even shred it down into fibers and use it from new materials such as insulation. So, essentially, upcycling gives these products a second or a third life before the end of its product life cycle. So hear me out. 87% of all materials used in the manufacturing process of clothes are either burned or end up in landfills. And only 1% of that final product, our clothes, is repurposed or reused or upcycled. So that means out of everyone in this room, 1 to 3 of our pants, shirts, anything will be repurposed and the rest is just garbage. Let's reconsider our waste, our consumption. Let's incorporate these processes into a new circular design system. So thank you.
Good job, Gabriel. Okay, Sophia, your passion is land management in public spaces. How can system design shift how society impacts the environment?
Thank you for your question. So design has really been around since the beginning of time, and Native peoples were the first designers, the first tenders, and the first sustainable stewards. So I grew up in West Virginia, often helping my grandparents maintain land, burn brush, look after the forests. So this was an unconventional childhood, but it's where I gained this passion for the land. And so I wanted to create a symbol that represents the balance of nature and how people still fit within that today. So people tended, renewed, and lived with the land for over 300,000 years. Because of this, indigenous human interaction is actually essential to thriving habitats. And so our Western idea of wilderness erases the existence of Native peoples. A sustainable reciprocal relationship with the land was systematically erased. And so this is a really simplified timeline of a genocide of a people and their culture. And so with this decline of the people, also went the habitats and animals that they depended on, and the animals depended on them as well. So with this, is there a better way to travel? A better way to care for the places that we go? The outdoor recreation industry is a $600 billion industry, so how do we redirect some of those funds? And can we revive the places that we go? So TEND, a design solution, directly allows for the participation in the revival of species, cleaning water resources, preservation and rehabilitation efforts by Indigenous-led groups. And so your donation will go directly to a specific tribal nation, and in turn, you'll get a discount for a national or state park, which goes to leading initiatives to build co-management and co-stewardship within the national and state park system. And so this solution is really all about how we're all connected to the earth and how design can actually impact the way that we look at the environment and interact with the places around us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. And Piper, your focus is biometric botany, applying real-world data to visual solutions. How can we humanize data through design?
Yeah, I think this is a great question, because as you see here, all you see is raw data. This is just values that don't have any really meaning to us and individuals outside of the scientists who collect this. And this particular data set you're seeing here was collected from a breast cancer research study. So all these values are the biometrics and data collected from these participants. And by doing so, I was interested in how can I look at this data and how can I translate it into something that brings value to everyone, makes it more accessible, and breaks down the barriers, an uncomfortable social stigma around cancer, and how can we, engage people and motivate people to take part in their community and human health. And so as I was doing this, I'm very interested in immersive and experiential technologies, and I was excited about how I can take this and make something immersive and exciting. And so what you're seeing here behind me is a project I created with this data, where every single flower you will see in this video is actually a representation or more of a portrait of each participant within this breast cancer research study. So like you're seeing, every single part of the flower could be represented by one of their biometrics, and they're all unique and uniquely generated for each person. And I thought the flower in this project was, was very, the perfect example of like the cross and intersection between design and science, because we have something so beautiful and organic, such as a flower, and yet we have mathematical representation and how we analyze it and how we understand it with like phyllotaxis pattern, which is the mathematical way we understand how petals are distributed around the center of the flower. So it's this perfect thing that is so visceral, but yet gives us a beautiful visual that can celebrate and empower these individuals to talk and look around and create agency within their community. And that's the idea really about what this is for, is how can I give the individuals the power to maybe even look at their family history. Like, what if we looked at a garden of all these flowers, everybody in their family? What if we looked at, ethnic groups or certain communities? How can we see their flowers and how they're different and how they're the same? And eventually we can look and see how the entire garden overall can be growing and healing, and we can see human health over time and how these things can adapt or can change and heal. And that's really how it ties back into this event of sustainability and how we relate to our environment, and human health is at the center of that, because if we're all healthier, then we can really have a healthier relationship with our environment and be more sustainable.
Beautiful. Thank you, Piper. Steve, you've been sitting there with a smile like the proud papa over there. I'm curious what's going through your head right now.
Well, a lot of pride and really wonderful to see just the range and diversity of projects, and I think you share that excitement with me. It's interesting to see how the students are each taking a project of their own and looking for ways, asking why. How can we make something better? And given the opportunity to use their creative and design abilities to help change the world in various ways, whether it's upcycling of clothing and challenging the paradigms of which we talked about earlier, about consumption, and forcing people's habits to change and just being more efficient, to working with the indigenous people and creating an involvement with people who love nature to actually take ownership and be part of changing the world together, so generating change through community. And then the work of Piper in the cancer research project, translating this anonymous data that has been de-identified, but really everyone in there is a person and has a story and has some cancer connection. And how important it is to build and encourage people to participate in this important study, which is called All of Us, with the National Institute of Health and UCI, which is a collaboration that we're doing. So a lot of this is all happening outside of a classroom, outside of the traditional classroom. And a lot of credit goes to our chair, who's with us in the audience, Dana Herkelrath, of graphic design and digital media. So she's the guide for the studies that the students are doing. They choose what it is they want to study with and then develop their ideas. And we provide the framework for them to produce such innovative work and show the power of designers. And that's what I hope you were able to see today, just in 3 wonderful students.